It's the Andy and Dave Daily right here on the Muskegon channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. Dave Cackley's over there. It's a Tuesday. Look at the date, Dave. It's Halloween.
Halloween, hey!
Look
Happy
at you,
Halloween.
hey! Woo! Halloween fun, happy good times. Do you plan on doing any trick or treating?
No, I think Max is going to go with his cousins out trick or treating this evening.
Yeah,
in
you
Grand
can't be
Rapids.
bothered with that.
I mean, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't. Hopefully, it's cold and it's rainy. I would, you know what I would love to do? Love to be like, hey, dude, look, I will just give you a ton of candy. If I don't, I'll give you $10 worth of candy. If I don't have to take you trick or treating. How about this? You sit in your costume in the living room, and I'll just throw Tootsie Rolls at you.
No. You gotta take them out. You gotta be a dad for once in your life.
Yeah,
you
dude, I'm very much. I think there's being a dad and trick or treat. I mean, my dad never took me trick or treting. He was still a dad.
Turned out.
No, he was still a dad. So I don't know. I never had any interest in it when I was a kid. I went trick or treating one time. I was like, my parents just gave us candy. Like we don't. You don't have to work here. Here's some Milky Ways and Kit Kats and Three Musketeers. Awesome. I don't have to run around 3 miles in the cold, nasty October weather. No.
So what you're saying is that it started with you.
Well, it started with me. I didn't have any interest.
This whole
in
generation of kids that won't lift a finger to do anything for themselves started with you because you didn't have to get out and get your ass out and go trick-or-treating.
No. Begging for candy wasn't my thing.
You don't beg for candy. You walk up and you go trick-or-treat. You get to see the neighbors. You get to talk to people. You get to bump into friends on the street. I seem to remember a few years where I would take people trick-or-treating or go pass out candy as a what's the word, ambassador at my sister's house, and there may have been a cup filled with something behind me that
of course
was of a spirited nature.
You know what got really annoying?
What?
Max this was before he was trick or treating, but we'd do. Alexa and I were still together, and kids come up to the house.
Right.
The 15 and 16-year-olds coming up. No, you're in high school. You don't trick or treat anymore. I'm not giving you candy. That's ridiculous.
Let me ask you this: would you rather have them out doing drugs or raising hell somewhere?
They don't. Sorry, you don't get to do either. It's not an either-or situation.
Well,
it's not like,
you know what?
I'd say, you know what?
Congratulations, you might be 15 or 16. Here's some free candy. Thanks for not breaking into cars. Thanks for not.
You're 15
that's
or
what
16.
I do.
Okay, yeah. So it's an either-or. If you don't go trick-or-treating, you're going to be breaking into cars.
I'm not saying either-or. I'm just simply saying there's worse things they could be doing.
Yeah, let me put it to you this way. If you're in high school, you should not be trick-or-treating. It's over. All right? 6th grade, actually, I would say 7th grade on up, you're done. Once you're a teenager, no more begging for candy. Get it yourself. No.
I can just see you now. Do you realize I spent 7.3 cents on these 3 Musketeers?
No, they're for the children. The children.
Oh, for God's
once you
sake.
get 13, 14,
you're a kid till you're 18.
So you're giving out. You think it's appropriate for a 17-year-old junior or senior in high school to trick or treat?
What? Who cares?
It's stupid.
It's
and
one
it's
day
wrong.
a year.
No, it's dumb.
It's goodwill. It's being
not
neighborly.
Goodwill.
It's
fun. No, not when you're in high school. When you're in high school,
you're a miser. You know that you are the cheapest.
It's not about being
greediest,
cheap,
huh?
It's not about being cheap. It's about kid. You're 15, 16 years old, and you're not even wearing a costume. You're sitting there looking at your cell phone. You're too old to be trick-or-treating when you're 50. If you can drive a car, if you can drive around, no, you do not get to trick-or-treat anymore once you have a driver's license. Can we agree on that? Once you have a driver's license, no more trick-or-treating.
You're a turd. You know that?
It's not being a turd. That's just being a reasonable human being.
Seriously.
God.
Give them a piece of candy and
just
send
give
them
it
on
to
their
him.
way.
Just give it to him. Yeah. Just give it to him. Just give it to him. Why not?
My favorite thing to do was, especially when my sister lived right in town in Sparta, I would be out on the porch. And, the trick-or-treat, okay, they'd come up, and I'd be sitting there on the porch giving out candy. These kids would come up, and they'd go trick-or-treat, and they'd put their bags out. I would just reach in there and grab a handful of candy, and I'd go, hey, thanks. And these kids, they wouldn't even know what to do. They would just...
So you'd rather scar little children Let me finish. So you're scarring little children by reaching into their bags.
That's the trick.
But no. But high school kids, sure, you can trick or treat. That's fine.
Trick or treat.
God.
I gave them a little trick, then they got a treat.
Okay.
That's the spirit of the day. That's how that works.
No.
Whereas you're out there like that old fart from Up. You got your cane with the baseballs on the end of it. Oh, you rotten kids, get off my porch!
No, hey, look, I'm fine giving children candy. That's fine.
I didn't buy these Kit Kats for you rotten teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. Teenagers, rotten. No, teenagers do not get candy. No, they don't.
Oh, good.
3 to 12-year-olds get candy. That's fine. You hit 13, you're done. I'm done with you. If you can actually, show me an ID, then you don't get candy.
Dave sits the kid down on his porch. He goes, look, kid, listen. Got a little life lesson here for you, okay? I'm pushing 50 and I live at home. I use my mom's Caress soap. There's no way in hell you're getting a candy bar out of me, okay? You're 16. Get a job.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now.
Get a college degree in Elizabethan poetry and get a job. You'll want to be like me.
If Max tries to trick or treat when he's 16 years old, he's grounded.
Okay.
I'm going on record. I swear to God.
Yeah.
If he goes trick or treating, if I find out that he went trick or treating at the age of 16, I will ground him. I've got it on record.
Okay.
Son, if you're listening to this at any point in the future, do not trick or treat when you're 16.
Not trick or treating.
You will be grounded. I will take your car keys.
All right, now that we got you to this point, let's start talking about how football is going to be done in 10 years.
I don't even know why
irritated. Let's keep picking.
Why you made that dumb segue.
Well,
do you want me to get into the news now? There's a lot of stuff
I want to keep
happening.
irritating you. It's fun.
Okay, fine.
See if we can get to that heart attack.
Nah, I'm good. I'll have a stroke first. That's about 57.
Yeah?
So I'm planning my first stroke at 57.
All right.
I'll be like the old Joe Kennedy when I'm like 80.
Yeah.
And just, yeah.
All right, do your news there.
Let's do it. Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort surrendered to the FBI on Monday. Manafort pleaded not guilty to charges that he laundered millions of dollars through overseas shell companies, using the money to buy cars, real estate, antique rugs, and expensive clothes. Campaign advisor Rick Gates was also charged and turned himself in. Former foreign policy advisor and Webster cast member George Papadopoulos has also pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI and is cooperating with investigators.
I'll have you know.
Yeah.
I held off on the George Papadopoulos joke yesterday because I figured it was going to be you today.
Oh, okay.
I was going to put that all over Facebook, but then I thought, nah, Dave needs an easy joke tomorrow.
Thanks. That was nice of you. Look at you.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's being a team player.
And let me ask you this, too. Going back to the first guy there that got in trouble, who was it? Manafort? Is there really that big of a market for antique rugs?
I was going to say, what are you doing, man?
Because if there is, we got that old one up at the cottage, that big one that Aladdin could fly around.
Yeah.
I'd like to get a.
I get the cars. I get the real estate. I get the fancy suits.
The cars.
Antique rugs.
Antique rugs.
Anyway, it'll be interesting to see if they make any connections with Trump, or if we'll have to wait and see.
I think what'll be interesting to see is if Trump tries to pardon these guys.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's bad. If
I think
if he goes to fire Mueller,
he's not going to fire Mueller. I mean, he could legally, because he works at the pleasure of the president.
Yep.
It's just a bad look if he does.
Yep.
Although, if he does it, he's not going to, I mean, he's got that 36, 37, 38% that's going to stick with him. So, I would never say never, but probably not.
All right. Well, thank you.
Anyway, in a related story, Democratic power lobbyist Tony Podesta announced Monday that he is stepping down due to work his lobbying firm had done with Paul Manafort that may have benefited a Ukrainian regime friendly to Russia. Tony, of course, is the brother of John Podesta, who led Hillary Clinton's campaign. The investigation of special counsel Robert Mueller is now reverberating through both parties, according to the Washington Post. Now, it's just you got to get out ahead of this if you're the Democrats, because you don't want it touching you. But God, both parties are such a mess. It's kind of.
At certain levels.
I'm personally just glad I didn't vote for either.
Right.
So I can kind of look back, just kind of step back from this and just shake my head and go,
I'll say
whatever.
this, from what I've seen locally around here, and granted, I'm really new to the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that kind of mess is at this level.
I think you're probably local. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The local people that I've been around with the Democrats and things like that, they seem very honest. They seem very caring. They seem like they want to be a part of the solution. And I would say the same thing for the local Republican people.
Yeah, I was going to say
I think once you get to that national level, though, where the big money is and all that other kind of stuff, I think that's where you start to see. And again, I think you got to boil it down to individuals within. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But they're just such highly influential individuals that's where it comes off making it look really bad for everybody.
I think part of the reason too is at the local level, especially at state level, you're forced to work together because especially when it comes to like budgetary stuff,
right.
The states have to balance their budgets.
Yep.
So you have, regardless of your differing views, you have to compromise. You have to be able to come together, and you have to be able to work together and get along. And like you're saying, at the national level, that's just not the case.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's sad, but it's true. Hey, speaking of the Democrats in the Michigan House are taking out a wage theft. Lawmakers in Lansing say more than 100,000 people in the state have been victims the last few years. Wage theft includes not paying overtime, minimum wage violations, or making employees work off the clock. New legislation could compensate victims 3 times the amount employers took from them. Now, you and I both worked in radio. I never ever, and I don't do this here, I don't do any work that I am not paid for.
Really?
I'm compensated. I make sure I'm compensated for everything. And I used to get irritated, especially when I was working in radio, because there were a lot of people like, "Oh," I'm like, "Put that on." No, boss said, I filled up my allotted hours for this week. I can't. Well, then you're done. You cannot, because they will nickel and dime you in any way they can nickel and dime you. You do not do work.
But here's the thing, and I want you to put this into a bigger perspective because this is real.
Okay.
All right. Employers, they use fear to keep people employed.
Absolutely.
And this goes up to the national level of even discord, where if the working population gets to feel too comfortable in what they're doing for a job and things like that, they feel too comfortable and all that kind of stuff. They use control tactics over the employed base of the United States to keep people in line. Mm-hmm. So if you got a performance based job like a radio and it's not performing, you better figure out a way to make it work or your ass is out the door.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where the hey, I got to get this thing done comes into play.
Right.
And especially if you're a salaried employee in radio, like I was, you got no choice.
Yeah.
And at the end there, dude, it was 24/7.
Yeah.
If
absolutely.
your phone went off because the thing was off the air, you're going into work.
Right.
If you get
something
needed to be fixed or a commercial needed to get added in or something like that, you're on the salary, you're going in.
Yeah, that's why it's always better to be hourly, because if you're hourly, you've got to.
But here's the thing too.
I will never do anything.
I'll tell you this. I talked with some people over the weekend. When it's hourly and they cut you off at the knees now, and they do in radio. This is happening right now in radio. When your hours are up, you're done. That's that. Yeah. And there's no extra, if let's say you got to do a remote on the weekend. Mm-hmm. Well, you got to take 2 hours off the air. They're really doing this right now. You got a remote Saturday noon to 2. You're taking 2 hours off the air this week. You got the music festival going on this weekend. Oh, you hit your hours. Sorry, you can't be at the music festival.
But you take those 2 hours off the air, you get paid more for the remote anyway than you probably did.
But I'm just simply saying. But the long run of it all is the quality of everything is dropping.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's it's shameful.
Yeah, but it
really is.
It's the way it is, and that's why I don't tweet anything out after 9 a.m. When I'm done with with doing my traffic, I'm not paid past 9 o'clock. The last tweet I do is it'll be like 8:57, 8:58, and that's just because it's my profession. Now, nothing professional is done after 9 o'clock unless I'm compensated for it. Otherwise, it's not. Otherwise, it's not a profession. I don't do pro bono work.
Well.
That's not family related. I do family related countertop fabrication pro bono. This stuff, no.
All right.
Cash, straight cash, homie.
That's how it works. Okay, good for you.
All right. An initiative seeking to grow West Michigan's food processing capacity could turn Muskegon into a key agricultural port for those goods. The initiative was launched Monday with Consumers Energy Foundation giving nearly $250,000 to the West Michigan Shoreline Food Processing Initiative. The grant will be administered through the Community Foundation for Muskegon County. Of course, this is going to involve education, product incubation, logistics, stuff like that. That's just way over my head, but
right.
Sounds like a good thing for Muskegon County.
Love it. It's a good thing.
Very good. All right, sports. Monday Night Football is Kansas City over Denver, 29-19. Of course, Game 6 tonight. Dodgers, Astros. Could be all over. I could owe you $20, but it's not going to happen because Justin Verlander's going to choke it away. Choke it away.
Nope.
Mark my words.
Nope.
Going to happen. He's going to give up 4 runs.
This is going to be Verlander's. This is Verlander's moment.
No.
It is. He's going to walk out there and he's going to do exactly what his whole life has been building up toward. He's going to shell these bastards and it's going to be over. That's all there is to it.
Good luck to you. Good luck.
Hey, dude, you know what? I have to say this. It happened before I was born or even thought of. I hate the Dodgers. I hate the Dodgers for moving out of Brooklyn. I hate the fact that they left Ebbets Field.
They had to move out of Brooklyn.
Dude, I hate the Dodgers. I don't like their stadium. I don't like their colors. There's nothing I like about the Dodgers. Nothing. And I can't wait for Verlander to win it tonight.
All right, well.
I really can't.
Me and Larry King and Magic Johnson will be rooting for L.A.
Yeah, well, good for you.
All right.
Because you're a big butthole, and I'll see you tomorrow.